what I guess.
What are they thinking?
Underneath that sort of weepy voice facade, he's still trying to not get caught. He's still trying to avoid accountability.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
Exactly, because I think he's just worried about
what's going to happen to him.
What will happen to him?
What if I go to jail?
Well, he knows he wants to go. He wanted to go to jail,
but not enough to give up his location or turn himself in.
Exactly. That was the weird part. So it's like, how do you analyze that type of person?
I feel like this is more like a Halloween.
Yeah, why don't we
episode.
ever have these conversations on the Halloween special? We
never
never
do.
do.
In February.
We have February.
We should talk about the Ted Bundy documentary.
I've not watched that yet, and I've got to. I might watch it this weekend.
Just the controversy over it because Zac Efron's portraying Ted Bundy.
He's going to play him in the movie.
But he's like a sex symbol.
Yeah.
But,
well,
I mean, you kind of have to because Ted Bundy was a good-looking guy. It's why he was so dangerous.
It's so weird that you bring that up because have you heard about how women are swooning over Ted Bundy? Like women who maybe never knew who he was, women our age and younger, who are swooning over him.
Look him up.
From this documentary, because it's on Netflix, this documentary about him. And
wait, what exactly is that? Is it like
No. So you're confusing two things. There's a documentary on Netflix which is like tapes of interviews with him after he was caught, and then there's a movie coming out, and I think this is going to be a theatrical release.
Is it going to be like straight to? Is it be like a Netflix release?
No, I don't know if it's straight. We'll have to look that up. I don't know if it's Netflix or if it's a theatrical, but it's like a legit movie about Ted Bundy. Zac Efron stars.
Okay.
And as the man himself, but yeah, so women are watching this documentary about him on Netflix and taking to social media, swooning over him, saying, "Oh, he's so sexy."
A lot of that happens to a lot of people. People have like done that to like the Columbine killers.
Really?
Yeah, they have.
That's a thing?
I mean, I've seen it in random comments, but I'm like,
you remember a couple of years ago when
people did it to Scott Peterson? He got
really?
He got he murdered his pregnant wife, and he got like letters from women.
Folks, just like Von Cosel, I'll say it to you too. There's other fish in the sea. There's other people out there, man. But no. I remember a couple of years ago, I remember a guy got arrested. He didn't murder anybody, but he got arrested for something, and he was a really hot, like, supermodel-looking guy, and all the women went crazy for him.
Oh, the mugshot?
The mugshot guy.
He actually became a model?
Yeah, after...
I think I don't remember what he was arrested for.
I don't either. Then he was arrested again, but yeah, during this time, he became a model, and people, swooning over him. But he didn't commit he was not a serial killer.
It wasn't like a violent crime.
No, he wasn't a serial killer.
It was like drug possession.
Yeah. But women are swooning over Ted Bundy. I'm like, y'all, do you know the history?
Yeah, he raped and murdered 30 women, just so you know.
Yeah, and Netflix,
maybe more that we know of.
Netflix had to put out a tweet telling people to, like, don't do that. Don't swoon over him.
Yeah.
I'll post that on the Facebook page because it was a great response to all of them.
It's kind of like a two-edged sword, though, because, I mean, I get why they cast somebody like Zac Efron because he is a good-looking guy.
Right.
And Ted Bundy was a good-looking guy.
Yeah. But keep in mind,
one of the reasons why he was as dangerous as he was.
Exactly. But keep in mind, they're not swooning over Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. They are swooning over the actual Ted Bundy.
He's dead, just so you guys know.
Yeah, he was executed because he was...
For good reasons,
because he was a maniac.
For very good reasons.
Innocent people.
Which presidential campaign was he involved with? He was involved with like a presidential campaign. I think he's actually pictured with one of the presidents.
This I did not know.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
Wait.
We're gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah.
President. I'm pretty sure. Campaign.
Where
I want to say he was involved with he was like an aide on a
right.
Let's see.
On the Nelson. No, Ted Bundy served on the Nelson. That's not right.
Wait.
Nelson Rockefeller was in the early 1900s.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's wrong. Fake news.
I want to see. He was born on the West Coast, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or West Coast area.
I think he was. Was it Washington?
I think so.
Wait, scroll back up. It'll tell us. In the
Washington, Oregon.
No, sorry. He was born in Vermont. Look to the right there.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah, Vermont.
Burlington, Vermont. Okay. And died in Florida. Death by execution.
A few months before I was born. Good for you, Ted.
I want to say he was actually involved with like a presidential campaign.
I'm curious about this because I've never heard of that. I did not know that.
Yeah. Here we go. Bundy attended the 1968 Republican National Convention in
Okay,
Miami
makes
as
sense.
a Rockefeller delegate.
Oh no, never mind.
Nelson Rockefeller's presidential campaign. Okay. It wasn't somebody who won.
No. But Nelson Rockefeller, really?
Right. Yeah.
Ew.
Psychiatrist. let's see.
But it makes sense now. Ew.
What?
I did not know that. And it just
Yeah, he was
makes,
kind of like I think he was trying to be like a player in politics.
he
But
just
he got sidetracked.
yeah,
Apparently, with something awful.
from all the murder.
Yeah, exactly.
He found murdering people to be more interesting.
So wait, he became Arthur Fletcher's driver and bodyguard during Fletcher's campaign for lieutenant governor of Washington State. So I mean, yeah, he was actively involved in politics.
God, if only he knew. If only Nelson Rockefeller knew. Oh God.
There he is. When did he die? 1989.
Yeah, just a few months, like I said, a few months before I was born. And he was executed.
He looks like somebody I know.
Oh God, that's a horrible thing to
Yeah.
say.
Well, I mean, he looks like anybody, really.
You know, I was listening. It's so weird. All this stuff's coming together. Earlier this week, or no, it was last week. I've gotten attached to a YouTube a guy named Mr. Nightmare. Go check him out. He's got some really spooky stories. People send him stories about like real life horror stories that they experience, and he reads them back on his channel. And one of them, it was just part of a. And usually they have themes like the top 3, mall security horror stories, or the top 3 field trip horror stories. And it's like, legitimately scary things, or you run into scary people or whatever. One of them, though, was just like a regular story, and it talked about how comes from this guy, and he talked about how his parents, when they were dating, decided to go up in the woods one night to, to be alone, if you will. And they got out and started walking a trail. And they kept hearing
Bad idea.
They kept hearing noises in the trees, and they thought they saw somebody hiding in the bushes or hiding in the trees. And eventually, because it was pitch black dark, and eventually they stepped on something, and they ran into something with their foot, and realized it was kind of soft, but it was moving as they hit it. And then they got down to see what it was with their hands, and the hand went into a puddle. And when they pulled and this was his dad, and his dad pulled up his hand, it was blood, and they realized it was a dead body laying there, and they, took off. They turned around and ran off. And then later in the mid late 80s, when Ted Bundy was recounting his stories, he talked about how it was this one night when he was in this forest, these woods, and he just killed a woman, and was just about to move her when he heard and saw 2 people walking up a trail. And so he went and hid in the trees and the bushes and waited for them to leave before he moved the body. They saw the body and took off, and then he got the body and ran out. These people had an encounter with Ted Bundy, didn't even realize it.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's legitimately creepy.
Yeah, that's that kind of sent shivers down my spine. I was like, wow, what a story.
Like, yeah, you could have been victims
of Ted Bundy, but he didn't kill men. So he probably wouldn't have killed.
He was just a throbbing hard misogynist.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, since we've left you on that wonderful note,